Hi guys, I'm Hextrojan and this is Gaming Hexer, and welcome to what is now episode 4 of my Space Engineers survival series. As you can see, after a bit of a slow episode in the last one, trying to get the conveyors working on this drone, I've finally got it up and running. It works. I've put an antenna also on the station or this platform, so that I can use it from the safety of my cockpit here and communicate with the drone. I can also communicate with the drone just as I am here, but obviously if I have to do any long sort of projects with the drone, I don't just want to be floating in thin air and my battery's running low and not being able to tell. So that's done. We'll get a closer look just so you can see what's been done. I've added one each of every directional thruster just for stability when mining. The one thing I'm not happy about with this at the moment is the camera. I don't like the camera HUD in Space Engineers. It's too grainy and very dark, and then when you're working in a dark environment like this and all you have is spotlights to rely on, it's not very practical. You can't really see what you're doing unless you're right up on top of what it is you're working on. I've put an ejector on the bottom here, and actually if I quickly go in, I've done a bit of mining with it to test it, only a tiny bit. So I may have left my ejector to collect all, and we don't want that. So if I just go to remote control, I can see down here that they're both on. So I want to turn them off 3 and 4, so it won't collect all the material into the collector and it won't eject it all while I'm mining. And you can see there. Actually, while we've got control of it, I'll show you now. So this is it. It's fairly good handling. It's only got the one gyro on it, and it seems to do a good enough job. What I wanted to do is maybe in this episode we'll try and get some little fancy sort of a mining system up and running. So what I mean is, we've got our little drone miner, which is good enough and efficient enough for us at the moment. But what I want to do is still use this collector to collect the ore, but I don't want it to just be a matter of flying up and letting it drop the stuff into this tiny collector. I want to have some sort of mechanism in place. So it gave me an idea of some sort of system using sensors and maybe landing gears and another gravity generator to act like a sort of conveyor system, and a conveying system without the use of tracks and stuff, because tracks can be quite tricky, especially in survival. So I want to avoid that for now, and I might use that later on somewhere else in the subterranean part of the build when I finally get to it. So this is basically what I was thinking of. That should do for now, just thinking of time. So the landing gear going along here, maybe out in this direction or out in that direction, it doesn't really matter, but leading to this, and that will be what the items will slide across. And at the far end of it, a sensor and a gravity generator, so when the moving objects that are coming out of the ejector of the drone fall in front of the sensor, it will turn the gravity field on, which is pointing in this direction, and it will push them into here. That is the general idea. I'm going to get onto it now, and you'll see it as I go. So let me just sort out my keys. I want one of those and one of those. So I'll just get the general shape up and running first, and then we can go from there. This one. Seems I can place on top of that. I might as well. This is just to stop, depending on what speed they're travelling at, the small items, to stop them being pushed over the edge and creating a bit of a mess. So, right, landing gears now. Let me see what I have. Let's just see the stock landing gear for now. Right, it's quite tall, we need to be one further down, so maybe here, if I can turn it like that. That cargo container might need to be moved. Right, so let's work on that. So anything that's in here be moved to another cargo container that I've placed down here, and I'll work on the connections for it later. So I've got it labelled as small reactor for some reason. We shout out to cargo container. Better. That must mean I have the reactor labelled as a cargo container, but that doesn't matter right now. I say that a lot, but it probably will at some point matter. Right, this one is a small cargo container and it only has the one thing in it. I just get this and I move into there. Well, I was lucky that it was only one item to move out of there, so that's not so bad. Right, so as you can see, this cargo container now won't be connected for the present. So if I remove that, and eventually I'll put some sort of conveyor into here and there, and then that will fix that problem. Back to where we were. On there. Looks like it may be a case of having to put them side by side. Not what I had initially planned, but that's okay. I can just put some sort of system here to push things inwards that way, so that's fine. That's the other thing I like about these builds, is that they'll never end up how you intended them, because there's so many things that you have to account for. So again, looks like it will have to be like that. Maybe we'll only be allowed to have the one then, which won't make it as exciting to use. Maybe I just had it facing the wrong way. See, they're overlapping a bit and they're not touching at all, so always something, eh? Maybe we can get the items in to float across without falling through. I wonder if that might be the case. I guess it all depends on the collision mesh of the landing gear, but we'll know soon enough. Okay, so the general idea being the sensor can be anywhere around here really, so as long as I can get a gravity generator on the back here, and have a very narrow field of gravity pointing along these, we should be able to test it fairly quickly, actually. So let me just get the basic part of the structure up. We need steel plates, and I think I might need to get some of those building as well. It looks like that cargo container is not connected still, so right. I was getting excited then, thought I'd less work to do, but obviously not. That needs to come back as well, it needs to point downwards eventually. Appear to be getting a bit of lag there. I'm not entirely sure what that's being caused by, but that's not a problem. It might be every time those meteor showers decide to grace us with their presence. Right, so I know it seems a bit overly complicated for what is generally a simple thing, but just because I want it to have a mechanism in place that maybe otherwise wasn't the case. And it'll look cool as well to watch it happening. Some sort of mining industry type mechanisms up here going on. I've obviously taken that off of my bar, so let's put it back. And I'm hoping that them gaps won't pose a problem, that hopefully maybe the small items that were being dropped by the ejector on the drone or whatever ship is in place will be able to sort that out. But fly right past them, hopefully. I might keep this open as well, so it looks like another platform above, as opposed to just having big blocks of structures in the way. Right. Production, we want to build a gravity generator, and hopefully we have the parts. Nickel. I know that I will have to connect. Dagnamit. Come on, come on. There we go. I won't be able to produce any of the materials I need until I connect up the cargo container back into the system. So we're going to quickly do that. I just need to put a few conveyor tubes down, or a couple even. Let me see, a straight one, a bend and a bend. So let's do that. Conveyor and cargo blocks. We want a straight one and a bend. We don't need a conveyor tube as far as I know right now, because there's one here that will be connected into. One there. One here. And a straight one into there. That was silly of me. Didn't realise I'd done that. Right, let's see now what we're going to need. Oh, we got everything we need for that. Because I obviously did just take apart. See what I thought I might have used. I need a motor. Right, motors and bulletproof glass, so we can do that here, luckily. We have the motors anyway. We may need to produce the bulletproof glass. Does that have everything it needs? So we need 2 motors and 4 bulletproof glass. Silicone wafer. Obviously it would have done that automatically now had these been connected, because it is right there. Hopefully there's enough. And that's in the assembler, sorry. There we go. I'll drop them into the assembler. There we go. Inventory. Take you and you. Done. Right, up and running again. Everything's copacetic. Right. So now I want to put a gravity generator down. So obviously that's what we wanted to do that for. So okay, production, large blocks, the gravity generator. Nickel. Right, is the nickel going to be a problem? Let me see, inventory. No, it's not. No, I'm going to take what I need from here. Actually, what I will do is put the stuff that I've got on me into here. There we go. And then go to the assembler, start taking stuff out. And start building that gravity generator, which will be on the back of this one, and then switched off, because that's going to be the purpose of the sensor, to switch it on and off. And now I have an antenna, I can check the... Oh, don't know what I'm doing, sorry. I can check the radius visually of the gravity field and adjust it that way, so that'd be handy. Why were we here? Gravity generator. There we go. That should be everything. There we go, now we have a gravity field pulling us the other way. So if I turn off my thing here, my jetpack, yeah, right, we may need to put a wall there, like a straight wall. Right there, because I didn't obviously account for the fact that that could probably just send them up flying into the air, but hopefully they get caught before then, and I could lower the thing a bit. So let's do that, lower the force of the gravity generator. So T, let's do it from the comfort of our little chair here. Gravity generator 2, let's turn you to... So it's the height, we don't need it that high. let's just go to info, show gravity range, and then go back to control panel, build height, put it down to like 10 for now. I think 10 should be enough. 10, 12, change this to 1. I believe it's 1. Acceleration down to half to equal that of the downward pull. Width also down to 1. Now let's see what that looks like. Oh, I think I have to do is it show on as well. There we go. Also, maybe if we make it a bit wider and at least another 2/3, so times it by 3, so 12, 36. 36 meters should do it in the height department. Well, then again, now that I think about it, going 2 directions, so it might be double that again. We'll see. Make it about 40 and we'll see where that brings us. See, make it 2 meters. That might actually be okay. I always forget I can do this. That's much better, and obviously, unfortunately, it goes that way as well. But that's okay. Right, now we can turn it off. Put a sensor around here somewhere to pick up this whole area, so we could have it here, and then not going forward, but going behind itself and up a couple of meters. I believe it's 2.5 meters, the size of a block. To there. So let's turn off the gravity. My flying skills are a bit off today, as they are per every day. Right. 2 off. I don't want to shut on HUD anymore. Okay, production. Small blocks. Sensor. Well, that's ticking away, and I come over here. And I clicked on the wrong one, but that was quick. There we go, G. There we go. Sensor. Right, it's obviously set to player, so it's picking me up there. That's fine. Let's now adjust that. 88% energy, so I'm not worried about that. So the sensor. Extent left. 1. Extent right. 1. Bottom extent. This is the one we want. Right, it was 40 meters, wasn't it? The length of the thing. Top extent, we want it to go up a couple of blocks. So we'll say about 4 meters. I know it's 5 meters is a couple of blocks, but we'll see how that looks. Oh. No, sorry, bottom is 1. Top is 4, and back extent is 40 meters. And front extent 1 again. We don't want it to detect players. Detect floating object. that should be it. Now what we'll do is we'll do show on HUD, info, turn the gravity range off, show sensors fields. And I don't think we could have got that really. Oh, 40 meters way too far. What would you say, 20? Lovely. Yeah, well, 10 blocks, that would make sense. 20. So now when I drop something into there, it should work, and we'll turn off that sensor range, that view, and I think if this works, we'll call it a day for this episode. I know it's only a small addition, but I like little things like that, things that make it a bit different. So we'll go to our info tab, turn off the sensor range, go back to our control panel, sensor. We don't want it always showing up on. If I click on it, it helps. Off. Right. Set up actions. This is the very last thing. So we want it to text the object. Turn on gravity 2. And when it doesn't detect anymore, to turn off the block. Now we are ready. I almost forgot to do that, only for I saw it there. We'll test it out with a bit of stone first. So let's go into our drone. Control 1. As you can see, it almost looks black and white because of the darkness. We'll cut up a bit of stone over here and we'll do that. We'll try and get a decent amount so we can get a good view of what's going on when we do drop it into. As you can see, it's very hard to see what I'm doing with the miner, and that's with the lights on. Not like the HUD on the thing. Oh, knocked the back on my thing there a bit. So let's go over here. As long as we're in a straight line with this, we don't really need to worry about where we're dropping things. I'm going to come out of the camera and I'll fly over here so we can get a good view. Go back to controlling the mining drone, and now you can see 3 and 4. So 3 should fill up the ejector with what's in there, and 4 should start then throwing it out. And if it's all set up correctly, it will pick it up straight away and turn on the. Let me do one thing first. Let's get over here. Turn on the thing. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Doesn't look like we've lost any yet, have we? I am quite pleased with that. I think that's a good addition to the base as as a little mechanic. And there you go, it switched it off, it doesn't detect anymore, and everything that was in has found its way into the conveyor. We've not lost anything, or into the collector even, we've not lost anything, and I'm pretty pleased with that. Right, I hope you liked. Please subscribe if you did, and I'll see you in the next episode, episode 5. Thank you.